He stood in front of the mirror, staring at his reflection, wondering how he had turned into someone who constantly needed to justify his every move, every word, every decision, every mistake, explained, defended, over and over again. It was exhausting. And the saddest part? No one was even really listening. Aman had always been that person, the one who wanted to be understood. He wanted people to know he had good intentions, that he wasn't lazy, that he was trying his best. But life has a cruel way of teaching lessons through silence, not sympathy. The more he tried to explain himself, the less people cared. And slowly, he realized something painful. No matter how much you explain, people will only hear what they want to believe. It started small. A friend questioned why he was chasing a dream that didn't pay. "You're wasting your time," they said. He explained that he believed in what he was building, that one day it would mean something. They nodded, but with that look that says, "You're delusional." He felt the need to defend himself again, louder this time. But the more he talked, the more foolish he felt. Then came the family. "Why aren't you settling down yet? Why don't you get a stable job? Why are you wasting your potential?" He tried to explain. He wasn't lost, just building something that took time. But words never seemed enough. They still saw him as the failure, the wanderer, the one who didn't have his life figured out. One day, his best friend accused him of changing. "You don't hang out anymore. You think you're better than us now?" Aman tried to explain he wasn't better, just focused. He had dreams to chase, goals to meet, but to them, he was arrogant. And he realized, no matter what he said, people were going to write their own version of his story anyway. And that was the night something inside him broke, not in weakness, but in awakening. He sat alone on the terrace, whined, brushing his face, and whispered, "Why do I keep trying to make everyone understand me?" That question hit deep. Because the truth was, he wasn't explaining himself to help others understand. He was doing it because he wanted to be accepted. He was afraid of being misunderstood. He feared rejection, judgment, isolation. But then he realized something powerful. People will misunderstand you even when you're right. They'll doubt you even when you're doing the right thing. And they'll talk about you even when you've said nothing at all. So why waste your life explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you? That night, Aman made a decision. He would stop explaining. Not out of pride, but out of peace. The next day, he woke up and went straight back to his work. The same dream, the same path, but with a new fire inside. When someone said, "That will never work," he just smiled. When someone mocked him for being different, he said nothing. When someone said, "You've changed," he replied, "I hope so." And something magical started happening. The silence that once felt heavy now felt powerful. His quiet confidence started unsettling people. Those who used to doubt him began to question themselves. Because there's a strength that comes when you stop explaining yourself. When your results start doing the talking. Weeks turned into months. Aman worked harder than ever before. No social media posts, no rants, no trying to prove anything. Just work, just growth. And slowly, the world began to notice. Not because he shouted about it, but because silence has a way of amplifying success. One evening, he met an old friend who once mocked his dreams. The friend looked at him, surprised. "Bro, I saw what you've been doing. It's amazing. You've changed, man." Aman smiled, not arrogantly, but calmly. "I stopped talking," he said. "I started doing. See, that's the moment most people miss. You don't owe the world an explanation for your choices, your pain, or your healing. People judge from their level of understanding, not yours. And sometimes, silence is the loudest response you can give. If you keep explaining why you're single, why you left that job, why you're chasing your dream, why you read different, You're wasting your breath on people who have already decided what they want to believe. You can't teach perspective to someone who refuses to see beyond their own. At some point, you have to stop defending your life and start living it. Because here's the truth. People don't remember what you explained. They remember what you did. They don't care about your reasons. They care about your results. And you'll notice something beautiful. Once you stop explaining yourself, your energy shifts. You no longer need validation. You no longer crave approval. You stop trying to fit into rooms you've outgrown. You walk away from conversations that drain your spirit. You realize you don't need to convince anyone that you're a good person. You just live like one. Aman's journey wasn't easy. There were nights when loneliness hit hard. Silence can be loud when you're used to being heard. But with every passing day, he grew stronger. His peace grew louder than his fear. He learned to let people misunderstand him. Let them talk. Let them assume. Because if someone can walk away from you because they don't understand you, let them. The right people won't need explanations. They'll just feel your truth. Months later, when Aman's project finally took off, people who once doubted him started reaching out. "We always believed in you, man." He smiled again. He didn't correct them. He didn't remind them of their words. He didn't need to. Because when you stop explaining yourself, life itself becomes your explanation. His story isn't about revenge or proving people wrong. It's about choosing peace over validation, self-trust over approval, and that's something most people never learn. You see, explaining yourself is a trap. It gives others power over your emotions. Every time you say, "I did it because," you're asking for permission to exist as you are. But you don't need permission to be yourself. You don't need to justify your pace, your dreams, your decisions, your silence. It's okay if they don't understand why you're taking time for yourself. It's okay if they call you selfish for setting boundaries. It's okay if they say you've changed, because change means growth. The world will call you arrogant when you become confident, cold when you protect your peace, difficult when you stop being easy to manipulate, but that's fine. Be misunderstood. Let them talk. Because silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. There's something powerful about a person who doesn't explain, doesn't defend, doesn't fight for approval, just moves in quiet certainty. That's real strength, the kind that can't be shaken by opinions or doubts. Aman used to write in his journal every night, "Maybe tomorrow they'll understand me." But one day he crossed that out and wrote, "I don't need them to." That's when his freedom began. He started walking differently, talking differently. His energy changed, because the day you stop explaining yourself is the day you reclaim your power. So if you're listening to this right now, maybe you're tired of being misunderstood. Maybe people don't see your struggle, your effort, your heart. Maybe they mock your dreams, question your silence, doubt your path. Let them.